What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are getting into Batman vs. Robin, issue number 1. The writer being Mark Waid, the artist Mohammed Azir, and the colorist is Jordi Belair. This story is picking us up after the story by Joshua Williamson, the title of the series named Robin. We saw him go through trials and tribulations on Lazarus Island, and while he had won the day they took over the island, Mother Soul was able to make her way deep down inside and having the heart of Damian after he had been killed and then resurrected. She plans to do something very sinister. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we pick up with this issue number 1, we are talking about Damian Wayne, the boy wonder, coming from two separate worlds. His mother, Talia al Ghul, daughter of the demon, his father, the dark detective, and then Alfred died, convinced that he failed him. This truly did divide him and not really sure where his legacy would lie. What was the path moving forward for Damian Wayne? This is the path that led him to Lazarus Island. Now we pick up after that. Bruce Wayne has made his way back to the old Wayne Manor, not really sure why he is here. He feels as if something has pulled him here, as if he is supposed to be here. Now these days he is operating out of the downtown brownstone, leaving behind the Wayne Manor. This meant leaving behind a ton of memories. Trying to figure out why he even came here today. That is when he hears a knock on the door. Going over, opening up, and answering. This is where we see Alfred Pennyworth. Immediately, Batman starts going through the possibilities of who this could be. From Clayface to the Court of Owls. He says whoever is doing this, it is in very poor taste. But Alfred is letting him know that it is in fact him. Letting Bruce Wayne know that Damian is in danger from Bane. This would be the last thing that Alfred would remember before Bane had broke his neck. There is no way an imposter could possibly know this information. So the two of them, they sit down, and for a good hour, Batman is questioning him, asking him things only Alfred could ever possibly know. And he answers every single one of them, even suggesting going down to the Batcave to do a medical examination. Knowing how to get down to the cave, everything seems to be okay with him. He appears to be Alfred Pennyworth, but still Batman, he can't shake the idea that something is off. Once he gets down to the Batcave, this is when he sees it. This is when he knows that the problem, it is magic. Standing before him, we have Tim Hunter, Jakeem Thunder, and Damian Wayne, telling Alfred to hide because Damian hasn't seen him yet. He needs to figure out what is happening because he knows something is wrong. As he gives Hunter the cue, we see him use his power, use a screwdriver like a magical wand, and he throws the giant penny at Bruce Wayne. Damian commanding these guys, telling them to spread out and find him. From the shadows and from the smoke, we see Batman. He knows that this is Damian. He has always been egocentric, always been ruthless, impatient to replace him, trying to figure out, has Damian finally gone over the deep end? But knowing that something has happened, somehow he has been turned. He needs to find out why and find out who, quickly deducting that the other two are somehow under Damian's control. Tim Hunter being the world's greatest sorcerer someday, once he finally learns how to use his power. Thunder controlling the pen, the one that bottles the genie. And with that, we see the T-Rex in the Batcave come to life. Riding atop of it, they go charging after Batman, trying to move, barely being able to get away with his life. He tries to convince Damian to snap out of it. all of the costumes begin to come to life, and they start beating the heck out of Batman, while Robin perched watch all of this happen. This is when from the shadows comes Alfred, begging him to stop all of this nonsense. This puts Damian in pause, believing him to be dead, believing himself responsible for Alfred being dead. He said that it's a miracle, that he has dreamed every night of Alfred being alive again, but he also says that he is not gonna fall for it. He believes that this is some kind of trick, some kind of illusion, pulling out some knives, going to kill Alfred. Batman stops him just in the nick of time, the two of them making their getaway down some caves that are unmapped. As Robin and the others, they chase in hot pursuit behind them. They find themselves at an edge, with nowhere to go. We see Robin come up, and he is wielding a pistol, telling him that it seems fitting. This is his parting gift to Batman, closure, saying that the Batman's life ends today. It ends where it began, even doing a deep cut, saying the only thing he wishes is that if Batman had on a pearl necklace. Shooting him multiple times in the chest, him and Alfred go flying off the edge. Being able to catch himself on something, the two of them are able to escape on the Batship. Batman currently in very rough shape. He had just recently reinforced his suit, material stronger than Kevlar. It slowed Damian's enhanced rounds just enough for the suit shielding to do its job. Both of them know that something evil has a grasp over Damian. They know they need to help him. Of course, Alfred wants to help, but Bruce says that he needs to get him out of the line of fire, that they just got him back. He cannot risk something happening to him. And they know that they are up against an enemy, one that knows their every secret, every weapon, every defense, every safe haven, and every hiding place. And they intend on rescuing him. That's what takes us to the Tower of Fate, with Damian being informed that the detective lives, that he failed his job. As he walks in, Hunter and Thunder, they both fall down to the ground, telling whoever his master is that next time don't bring me children. But in front of him, what we see is a whole slew of weapons, a whole slew of artifacts, anything at his disposal, anything he so chooses to use to bring down the Batman. From the Eternity Book to the Sword of Superman, picking up with Batman and Alfred, he is taking account of everything he currently has on him, which is pretty much nothing. But he did manage to grab one thing, a gift from Zatanna, a key that would open any door, and it would lead to Zatanna's house. This was a direct path to her, and since obviously they are facing a magical threat, she is the go-to expert. But upon getting inside of her house, this is where we see her strung up with a noose. Not living, not dead. She is being punished, and the Punisher is intending on making them suffer, making them feel this for as long as possible. All magic users. Constantine intertwined with the Swamp Thing, all of them in their own personal hell. Even Jason Blood, letting Batman know that a supercharged magic storm came for her, that whatever this is, it has to be stopped. Something is terribly wrong, and this is all Damian's doing. The news has made its way across the Dark Realm. Somehow, some way, Damian is responsible for poisoning magic itself, and those who wield it readily, they are paying an immediate price, telling him that he has to hurry because death is not off the table for any of them. To use the key, it will take him to a secluded place, a place that is new to him, a place that keeps all secrets. This is where he may learn exactly what Damian did. Picking up with Robin, he lets his masters know that what he has, what they are giving him, they are trinkets. To topple the Batman, he requires greater resources, believing that he is owed this much, because how else would the two of them have met one another? That, of course, is Mother Soul and Devil Nazar. Alright, so as we dive into issue number 2, we are picking up with two individuals. We have Tanarak and Jinx. They currently find themselves down in Atlantis. They find themselves at the tomb of Arion, a very ancient champion of Atlantis. They have come down here for the demon Nazar. They have come looking for the mystic gem, the portal to the dark worlds. And while these two are met with heavy resistance, with the snap of a finger, our Atlanteans cannot breathe. They are taken out of the battle before anybody even throws a real blow. And with their mission being complete, they head back to Mother Soul, meeting up with individuals like Zor and Clarion. These two, they have stolen the cloak from Ragman. They have taken his soul suit and they peeled it directly off of his body. And I gotta say, poor Ragman, he has been through the ringer lately. That poor guy simply cannot catch a break. But that is when Mother Soul comes into the room, lets them know that the devil has asked for his bounty, taking us over to the devil himself. Currently sitting before him, we have Black Alice. And Black Alice, she is a very unique individual. In fact, Mother Soul and all of them, they needed her for any of this to actually work. She is a living conduit of eldritch force. She has the ability to drain magical objects and transfer that magic into something else. This is why Mother Soul has these people out here looking for what they call bounties, looking for magical items across the world, all so she can drain them of their magic and put them into an object that the devil would like to use. That object, of course, is the Helm of Fate. And Black Alice, she tries to resist. She tries to let them know that it hurts too much to do this. But the devil does not care, letting her know that if she will not do it willingly, then he will force her to do so. As she transfers the magic from Ragman's cloak into the Helm of Fate. In the background, we have Damian Wayne watching, Mother Soul letting him know that there is no need to hide here in the back. But he is not hiding. He is simply distancing himself from everything that is going on. Even under the control of this demon, Damian still doesn't care for the suffering, not even sure if her pain is actually necessary. But Mother Soul enlightens him that they all have their roles to play. Damian Wayne, most importantly, because his efforts, they need to be concentrated on slaying the detective. But that is what takes us over to Kentucky. We have our magician known as Felix. His powers are currently going haywire. And Batman is here trying to restrain him, trying to stop him, trying to make him go unconscious so that he can help him. He is currently reliving an old attack on the Justice League. He is going out of control, and Batman refuses to let him die, getting him to the point where he passes out and giving him some sedatives. This takes him out of play, at least temporarily. This is when the ground begins to crack. As it cracks open, we see a house emerging out of it, this being the House of Secrets. This is where Zatanna had sent them, as they approach the house to do some investigation. This is where they run into Abel. He is the caretaker of this home, and he is letting Batman know that all your questions, they can be answered. But he does warn him that anybody who enters the House of Secrets, they eventually learn things about themselves that they would have never wanted to learn. But this is when Batman and Alfred, they begin investigating. Looking around the house, they go into the first room. Going in here, it looks like they fell into a trap. Not really sure what is going on. Some illusions in front of them begin to take form. And what it is Lazarus Island. The Lazarus Tournament. Damian Wayne and all of his friends versus the demon. Off to the side, we see Mother Soul. At this point, Batman doesn't know who she is, but he does have an idea of what is going on. Damian had told him about the tournament, very loosely, not a lot of details. He definitely left out the part where they faced off against a giant demon and literally decapitated him. And so with Damian and his friends defeating the Lazarus demon, Mother Soul absolutely loses it. Batman and Alfred listening to this conversation, this is where he learns the truth. He learns that this is Damian's great-grandmother. That is when the illusions begin to fade away. and Batman finds himself on Lazarus Island. He believes this place looks very familiar to him, almost like a place that he has seen before, but he is having trouble trying to figure out exactly when he saw this place. This is when tiny Lazarus demons start climbing all over him and Alfred, with Batman being able to find a way out. They exit this room and they find themselves back in the House of Secrets. And instead of Abel greeting them this time, we have Cain, letting him know that he is going to be taking over their tour guide. And he points them to door number 2. As they go inside, they have a skeleton who is letting them know that the show is about to begin. They are the guests of honor. And Batman already understands that this is all more or less an illusion, a dream, and he's not really sure what they can do to get out of it at this point. But Batman is very much losing his patience. But they sit down, they watch the play. The play being Mother Soul and having the Lazarus demon's head. And while it is a huge disappointment that the demon has fallen, she has been on this island for such a very long time. She knows the Lazarus resin better than anybody else. She knows its properties and she knows its history. She knows how it was refined from a Chinese elixir of resurrection and immortality millennia ago, from the blood and tears of a grieving father. This is the origin of Lazarus Pits, something that Batman and Alfred are hearing for the very first time, believing that the blood connection between the resin and the demon, it may be powerful enough to release the devil that she wants to let out. But there needs to be somebody that wields the key. That is where Damian comes into play. Mother Soul taking this key, giving it to one of her little followers, and letting them know to place this somewhere where Damian will find it. This is when Lazarus resin begins to fill up the theater, filling up quickly, rushing in like hurricane waves. They find themselves drowning in Lazarus resin. That, of course, is until they wake up at the House of Secrets. And while they are also getting answers, they are left with only more questions. With Bruce Wayne just being over everything that is going on, he knows that he needs to find Mother Soul, to find out what she did to Damian, and he is going to figure this out even if he has to burn down this entire home. This is when he is greeted by Cynthia and the sisters Mildred and Mordred, letting him know that his time is running out. They are approaching the witching hour. Cynthia quickly taking the form of Talia al Ghul. Batman knows that this is not her. He knows this is just another illusion. That is when she dumps them into their next vision. This vision is Damian Wayne making his way through the tunnels and cave systems of Lazarus Island, wielding the key from Mother Soul in his hand, not knowing exactly what it is, knowing that it is drawing him down here. It is pulling him towards something. That is when he finds the giant doorway. As he gets close to it, we see the key react. Green electricity starts flowing through the walls. This is when Batman remembers. He knows this tomb. He knows this island. And he knows exactly who is behind that door. With a giant explosion, we see the devil arrive. Batman letting us know that years ago, which we saw in Batman and Superman World's Finest issue number 3, I believe, Batman and Superman had imprisoned the devil here, barely being able to take him down. They trapped him here on this island, buried the deadliest magical warrior who has ever lived, a being that is thousands of years old and incapable of enslaving the world. This is the devil Nazar. As he approaches Damian Wayne, he can sense his bloodline. He knows that this is the son of the man who prisoned him. For him, this is perfect. There is nothing more fitting than using a weapon against Batman, that weapon being his very own son, taking control of Damian Wayne. It is only a matter of seconds before Damian Wayne is under the control of the devil. This is when the unexpected happens. Damian shoots both Alfred and Batman. This is supposed to be an illusion. illusion. This is supposed to all be fake, all just illuminating something from the House of Secrets. The truth is, this has all been manipulated by Damian Wayne. Cain, Abel, Cynthia, they've all been under the control of Damian Wayne. The house goes crashing down. Flames climb up the walls, letting his father know, now you truly understand the forces that you are up against, that he is out of his depth. He is out of hope, that it would be so much easier if you just lay down and die. Returning from this adventure, Mother Soul is wondering why he left him alive. But Damian was only trying to do one thing. He was trying to rattle Batman's spirits. He delivered his message. He knows his father, and he knows what he is going to do next. This is when Mother Soul bestows a gift upon Robin, the ultimate symbol of ascension of Damian Wayne into his destined birthright. We see him as the Caped Crusader, as the Dark Knight. He has taken on the role of Batman. And what is a Batman without all of his Robins? And picking up outside the House of Secrets, as it sits in a blaze, we have Batman and Alfred trying to figure out what their next step is going to be. All he knows is that he is going to find Damian. He is going to save him, and they are going to topple the devil and Mother Soul, not wanting to bring Superman into the mix. Too afraid that the devil may take over Superman, and that's a whole other fight on its own. He believes that he is cordoning off everything right now, right here. But what he doesn't know is that Alfred, as he casts a shadow on the ground, we see that it is the devil's shadow. This is alluding to the fact that this may not actually be Alfred. This could just be yet another trick, a magical ruse put out by the devil, a backup contingency plan, just in case Damian fails. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we have Alfred and Batman in the jet making their way to Lazarus Island. What we learned in the last issue is that Alfred Pennyworth, he is possessed. This is nothing more than the demon itself controlling Alfred to keep an eye on Batman, because the demon Nazar, he had been imprisoned by Batman and Superman, and Batman knows, he knows that he needs to go to Lazarus Island. He is being baited there, knowing that he can't count on the Bat family, some of them out of communication, others have been captured. On Lazarus Island, we have Damian Wayne taking up the mantle of his father and having all his Robins fall into line, giving each of our Robins a weapon, from the trident of Poseidon to the sword of Sin. They are equipping them with the best things that they can give them to fight against their father. Knowing that Batman is en route, Robin lets everybody know to get into position, with Batman landing on ground, leaving Alfred behind at the jet, letting him know that he cannot come with him because he cannot maintain focus if Alfred is there with him. He needs to be 100% zoned in on the mission, and so leaving him behind, we pick up with Lady Talia, Damian coming in to have a couple of words with his mother, and he is being very assertive, letting his mother know that he is the one that is going to talk, letting his mother know that she has never been a good parent, never been a nurturing parent, because mothers don't program their children to be killing machines. But she does try to let him know that she has changed, that she is trying to be more affectionate, she is trying to be more loving. These things have gone against her very nature for so very long, but for her son, she is truly trying. But Damian believes that with her actions, she is yet to show this actual change. Even Ra's al Ghul, when he said that he wanted to change, he turned himself into the authorities. We saw this in Batman's Shadow War. He knew that it wasn't simply enough to say that I am different, that he had to answer for all of his past sins. The question Damian raises to his mother, how are you going to pay for yours? Giving her time to ponder an answer. her, letting her know that from now on, this prison is going to remain her home until she figures this out. Completely unaware to her, she is currently on Lazarus Island. She is bound, being controlled, seeing nothing more than a vision that is the prison inside her mind. That is when we jump into the jungle of Lazarus Island. Batman making his way through here, staying off of the beaten path, trying to avoid any traps that Damian might be planting for him. This is when something hits him, something that he cannot see. That something is Tim Drake. Using this cloak that gives him invisibility, he definitely gets some good shots in on Bruce Wayne, and everything that Tim Drake is saying, feeling as if he is unimportant to Batman. This possession makes them really say their deepest buried grievances. Every issue that they have ever had with their father, they are laying it down on the table. And while he tries to talk to Tim, saying that I didn't forget you, I didn't throw you to the side when Damian became Robin, the truth is, Tim Drake didn't need him anymore. That he has been doing fine on his own. But in Batman's mind, he has a lot of self-doubt. Is this something that he simply tells himself? Could he have been better to Tim Drake? It almost startles him on how much this question weighs on him, though he tries to not let this distract him. With Batman using his cape, he throws it onto Tim Drake, taking away the invisibility advantage. It doesn't take long for Batman to put Drake down into the ground, tying him up and leaving him behind. Batman knows that this is hardly the last trap Damian has set. Taking us over to Mother Soul, we have the Queen of Fables that is currently in her clutches, doing everything that has been asked of her. The last thing that they plan to do is drain her of all her magical power. That is where Alice comes into play. Being forced to do this, they deposit all of the Queen of Fables magic into the Helm of Fate, because they have been pouring all of the magic into the helm. They are trying to beef it up and make it as powerful as possible. That is where we pick up with Nazar. He is having a conversation with Pigsy. For those of you that have been keeping up with the Monkey Prince, he has been heavily used in this line. Pigsy and Nazar, they go back a very long time, and Pigsy knows Nazar's secret. He is gearing up with all of this magical power, not so he can play offense, but so he can play defense. With Nazar asking where he is, Pigsy lets him know that that individual is already here. Nazar's son has already arrived, and he cannot wait to say hello to you. And so as this little page unfolds, what we are learning is that Nazar's son, he is coming for his father. That is why Nazar has been gathering up all of this magical power. Though he may want to take over the world if his son is to come for him, that is a battle he fears that he might lose. Picking us back up with Batman, the next Robin he faces off against is Stephanie Brown. As the plant life and the vines around him, they grab hold of him. Not sure if this is the work of Poison Ivy, he quickly recognizes that is not the case. There is a working theme here. All the ex-Robins. Stephanie Brown, the only Robin that he has ever had to fire, now under the tutelage of Batwoman. She also has a ton of grievances against the Bat. Even having Black Bison's staff, he knows that Stephanie Brown is not nearly as formidable as Tim Drake, wondering why Stephanie was the one to come second and Tim Drake first. This is when he recognizes that Stephanie Brown is not alone. That is where we see Jason Todd, Robin number 2, the violent one, wielding the Trident of Poseidon. The two of them together are giving Batman one heck of a beatdown, with Batman down on his knees, Jason coming in, about ready to take that trident and jab it right into Batman. He waits for Jason to get close. This gives him the opportunity to not only take the trident from him, but knock his butt down to the ground, using the water to bring him back up onto the cliffside. This is when he takes down Stephanie Brown, having injured ribs, having some blood loss, and a slight concussion. Batman is still standing, 3 Robins down, and and one more to go. The first Robin, the toughest of them all. That is what takes us over to Damian Wayne and Pigsy, the two of them having a conversation. This is not the first time that Damian has met Pigsy. The first time that they had met was in Monkey Prince issue number 2. Pigsy knows that deep down inside of Damian, there is a part of him that is fighting against this magical control that has taken him over. If there wasn't, he wouldn't be standing before Pigsy right now. And so Pigsy asked a question. What do you get out of this? The devil Nazar, he understands. He is going to use Earth's magic to enslave the entire planet. What he had not said is that he is going to use the entire planet enslaved against an even more powerful demon known as King Fireball. This is his son. Now, how does Mother Soul fit into all of this? It all comes down to scorched earth. She wants a brand new Garden of Eden, an earth with almost no human population, no way to poison everything that is. Basically the same goal as Ra's al Ghul, but times 10. And so the question stands, what does Damian Wayne get out of all of this? And as he thinks about it, he realizes there is nothing that he truly gains, with Pigsy letting him know that he has known the demon Nazar for quite some time, when they were both very young. The truth is, he used to be a hero. What had turned him was Lazarus juice, using it to make himself immortal, pumping up his magical ability. It is corruptive. It is corrosive to the very soul. Trying to figure out if this corruption could possibly be reversed. That is when Nazar comes in, grabbing Damian by the head, letting him know that it is not corruption, that it is clarity. As they prepare the arena, Pigsy being drug off to go to Alice so that his magical powers can be siphoned from him. That is where we pick up with Nightwing versus Batman. With Batman's belt being empty, we see Alfred coming out of the woods, trying to warn him about Dick Grayson, but Batman already sees him and this confrontation is already underway. Wielding the Sword of Sin, he goes in on his father, with Dick Grayson letting him know that you took me away from the life that I loved. You took me away from the circus, where I was front and center. Everybody knew who Dick Grayson were. They knew who the Graysons were. You took me under your wing, and you made me hide away Dick Grayson. You turned me into Robin, which eventually became Nightwing. And essentially, Dick Grayson had died, buried under all these other personalities, with Batman filled with self-doubt, questioning everything that he has ever done. This is when he recognizes that Dick Grayson is wielding the Sword of Sin. This sword manifests guilt and doubt on its opponent's mind and magnifies them. It weaponizes them. It has been working on him ever since he arrived to the island. This was one of Damian's end games. Though Batman may be running on fumes, he can still turn this fight around. That is when that flaming sword comes down on Batman's bicep, ripping it open, under orders from Damian Wayne to let Damian have the killing blow. Nightwing cannot help himself. He goes in to attack. This is where we see Alfred coming up, letting Batman know to be careful, with Dick Grayson going to drive that sword into the chest of Batman. Batman grabs hold of Alfred and uses him as a human shield. This small moment, we see Nightwing broken from this control to see that he killed Alfred, and that gives Batman the opportunity to knock one across his face, with Nightwing going unconscious. As Alfred is slowly dying, Batman lets him know that he is known. He knew 3 minutes in that this was a spy, because Alfred despised a specific type of tea. He never had a granddaughter, and there was no Riddler's labyrinth. Everything that he had been saying to Alfred was to test him, to see if this was the true Alfred. Now, they may have known enough about Alfred's life to answer all of his questions, but not enough to contradict him when he was telling the truth or not. He played along for as long as he could not to alert them. This is when the demon bursts out of the body. Alfred no longer possessed possessed, what small remnants there is of Alfred begins to talk to Bruce Wayne. Now, Bruce thought that this was just another trick, that he was simply just possessed, that it was a creation, a manifestation. But really, what this was a tiny piece of Alfred's soul, the faintest whisper still inside of him. But now, that piece of soul is fading. This is when Batman recognizes that Alfred taking that sword was Batman's fault, believing himself to be responsible for Alfred's second death. But Alfred lets him know that he is nothing more than a shadow. There was never any way to bring him back. He also goes on to tell him that Damian imagines that Batman is blaming him for Alfred's death. What Damian doesn't understand is that Bruce Wayne blames himself for this, and he refuses to accept that as well, saying that he can find no peace while watching Batman carry this unneeded burden. The truth is, Alfred always knew the risk. He accepted them. Nazar is exploiting a wound inside of Bruce Wayne. Alfred is asking him to close it. Close it up, find the strength in that healing, because he is going to need it if he is going to save Damian Wayne. With Bruce Wayne saying that he misses him, Alfred tells him that he will see him again, and that his parents, they send their love. With that, Alfred disappears into nothingness, rejuvenated, ready to bring the fight to the devil. He patches up his wounds, he throws on his cowl, he heads into the darkness of that cave, and the final confrontation is about to begin. Alright gang, we are jumping to Lazarus Island, lair of the devil Nazar. Mother Soul by his side, we find himself just basking in the Lazarus oil. Taking in this resin, this is what gives him power. These resins have flowed through his blood for over 3,000 years, created specifically for him by his father. And while Batman is still out there, Nazar is not so necessarily worried about him. The magic they are about to be granted, they are about to command an army of 8 billion strong. They're gonna have enough power to seize this world and worlds far beyond this one. But there is one thing that could change this: the devil Nazar's son. Now, Nazar does believe that if his son shows up, it is going to be very bad for him. It is going to go very poorly for him, believing that it would be foolishness to come and confront him. But above the island, that is where we see his son, waiting, getting ready to make his attack. As he stalks his prey, as he prepares for his opportunity to come in, we are picking up with Batman, making his way through the darkness of these tunnels. What he has found are dozens of magic users gathered and discarded, all of them except for one. That, of course, is Black Alice, an individual that siphons magic. She has been putting it all into Dr. Fate's helm. But this is when Batman sees young Damian. Damian more intense than Batman has ever seen him. He was really hoping that Batman would somehow be able to break Nazar's will, or that at least he would be able to break the will himself. He never wanted it to come to this. Now all he can do is engage, create every advantage possible, and pray that Damian doesn't figure out what's really going on here. Damian wastes no time going in on his father. Batman, he knows almost every single move that Damian is going to do, but he doesn't know all of them, because Damian, while with his mother, had been trained by some individuals that Batman doesn't know. A kid trained by the League of Assassins. By the time Batman had already laid eyes on him, he was already highly skilled in a number of fighting techniques. But while Damian may be very skilled, he may have a whole slew of training. The truth is, this is the son of Batman, but he is not an equal, not in an arena. Ordinarily, Batman would have won this fight by now, but Damian's gauntlet of Robins, they took too much out of Batman. He has lost a good amount of blood, his body is pretty beaten up. That gives Damian the opportunity to really do some damage. As these two struggle, as these two fight, this is where we see the devil and Mother Soul make their appearance. The two of them going for the helm. But the devil Nazar, he really wants to relish in this. He wants to watch as Batman is destroyed. Batman being distracted by their arrival. That gives Damian the opportunity to break some bones. Getting his arm, hitting his knee, Batman is definitely feeling the pain. As the devil Nazar watches and he really relishes in Batman being defeated by his own son. Damian is just laying down the haymakers, but then he stops. He recognizes what is going on. This is his father. Batman knew that this would be a death trap. Batman never enters a trap without a plan. Damian asking what was the plan, screaming at him to tell him as the devil goes to put on the helmet of Dr. Fate. That is when Batman screams out to Talia al Ghul. We see Damian's mother come running out from her hiding place. You see, Batman found her held captive here. They all believe that this was the first time Batman went through these caves, but this was the second. On his first go through, he found Talia, he freed her, and they made their plan. With Talia coming out and hitting the devil Nazar, we see the helm of Dr. Fate go flying. That is where Batman picks it up. He picks it up and he puts it on. Tired of being broken and bloodied by his child, it is time to take this fight to its source. Freeing Damian, freeing everybody from the grasp of the devil. We see everybody begin to disappear and go back to where they belong. All except for Black Alice. Pigsy being the one to stop her from going, saying that they are going to be needed for the end game. Damian asking for forgiveness, but Batman telling him that it is already forgiven, to go help his mother kick Mother Soul's butt. This is where Batman stands toe-to-toe with the devil, seeing for the very first time how sorcerers see the world, believing that it was all a metaphor, but it's not. There is magic in everything. This is where the fight begins. Now, Batman knows that he can't outplay the devil. Nazar has been using magic for centuries. Batman, he barely has an understanding of how to truly wield it, but he does have enough know-how to be able to put up a fight. As these two go off facing one another, we pick up with Talia al Ghul and Mother Soul. Damian arriving not far behind. They go to take her down. And Mother Soul, she is not a match for her grandchild and great-grandchild. With her nearly defeated, we are picking back up with Batman and the Devil Nazar. The two of them using magic, we see them go into another realm. The battle continues, it is ongoing, each of them throwing some heavy blows. The entire time, Devil Nazar has been going off on an entire dialogue. Batman has said very little. The only purpose right now that he has is to be a father to his son who needs it. His son needs rescuing, and that is the only thing that matters to him. That he is going to make Nazar pay for everything that he has done. As we pick up with Mother Soul, we see Talia al Ghul. She pushes her into a cavern to end all of this right here, right now. But that is when we see Damian jump in to grab her. Barely able to grab hold of her, we see Mother Soul. She lets herself go. Talia saying that she forbids Damian from mourning the loss of her. Damian lets his mother know that he is not a monster, and he will feel how he chooses to feel. That is what takes us back to our magical duel. Batman can hear the voices of all magic users that Nazar had defeated crying out to him, instructing him on how to win this battle. But for Batman embracing magic to its fullest capacity, it is impossible. He has already learned that magic is a matter of submission. This is something that Batman cannot do. He cannot submit himself to magic, which means he will never fully be capable of using it to its fullest extent. That is where Nazar is able to grab hold of Batman. He grabs the helm. He goes to pull it off his head. Batman fighting with everything he can. We see the helm of Dr. Fate. It explodes. It blows up into pieces and it falls into the Lazarus resin. All of that magic, all of that power, it has gone into the Lazarus pits. As the devil Nazar goes to finish off Batman for what he has just done, that is where we have the arrival of Damian, taking that flaming spear and piercing Nazar with it. Batman told him to leave. He told Damian to get out of here, knowing what can happen, knowing that his son very likely could be killed. Nazar goes to blast Damian with some energy, only for Batman to jump into the way and take the blast himself. With Batman lying limp down on the ground, Talia al Ghul lets us know that Batman is dead. As Damian goes to turn on the devil Nazar, that is where we have the arrival of King Fireball, the son of Devil Nazar. He has come in, crashing this party, and he is laying down the hate. That is when Pigsy and Black Alice come into the room. Pigsy grabbing hold of Damian, saying that there is still time. The Lazarus pits are fast becoming exponentially more volatile. The pits themselves, they won't resurrect Batman. They would boil his bones, but there is still Lazarus magic available to them. It runs through the very veins of Nazar himself, and so they use Black Alice. She siphons the magic that is from the devil Nazar, and they put it into the body of Batman. They do this to bring him back to life. We see that Nazar is slowly being drained of all of his power. All of this is going directly into Bruce Wayne. In a matter of moments, we see that Batman has been resurrected. He is alive, but just barely. This is when Nazar takes the opportunity to make his escape. Going through a portal, we have Talia al Ghul, Damian, they are carrying Batman trying to get off the island. Everything looks like it is about to erupt. King Fireball is absolutely livid that his father is able to get away, that his vengeance has been denied. But he is going to have his vengeance, even if this entire world has to suffer. As he makes his way through the sky, we see Talia al Ghul, Batman, Robin, they are all making their way towards the private jets, trying to get out of here just in the nick of time. We see the volcano erupt. Giant green flames. The Lazarus pits, they are coming to the surface. They are coming out into the sky. And this is what is going to lead us into Lazarus Planet. Alright gang, so we are diving into the dawn of DC. A year-long storytelling initiative. New epic series, new creative team, new battles to be fought. And it all starts right here with Lazarus Planet Alpha. We are picking up exactly where Batman vs. Robin issue number 4 left off, with Robin, Black Alice, Talia al Ghul, and Batman making their getaway from Lazarus Island. Damian swearing that he is going to fix this. But to do this, he is going to need the help of the magician known as Black Alice. If she can be coaxed from the trauma that she has endured by the devil Nazar, there is a possibility she will be a huge key factor moving forward. On the other hand, we have Batman, who has been very wounded. The only reason that he is alive right now is because they used some Lazarus resin from the devil Nazar. They siphoned it from him and they put it into Batman. This is where over the radio they hear Supergirl. There is a planetary alert. Anyone who is not currently engaged, they need to get to the Hall of Justice. There is a supercharged weather condition creating a mysterious magical rain. This thing is blanketing Earth. It is creating life-threatening damage with typhoons, tornadoes, and level 5 thunderstorms. This is when the plane that Damian is flying, it goes crashing out of the sky, with it landing right outside the Hall of Justice. We see the likes of Blue Beetle, of Blue Devil, of Mary Marvel, the Monkey Prince, Cyborg, Power Girl, and Supergirl, with Power Girl and Supergirl being the one to stop Damian's plane from crashing into the ground. That is when Damian lets everybody know that there is a war about to begin, an ancient evil that goes by the name of King Fireball, that he is responsible for the green storms. But Damian does have a way to stop him, and of course naturally everybody looks to Batman. But the state that he finds himself in, he knows that he is unable to do much, letting everybody know to look to his son, to let Damian lead this charge. And so Damian fills them in on the entire story, from Mother Soul to the Devil Nazar. When Supergirl hears the name Devil Nazar, she almost turns pale. Supergirl had been there when Batman and Superman last imprisoned Nazar. She knows what he is capable of, with Zatanna going on and letting us know that magic has gone utterly haywire. It is spread randomly and sometimes violently across the earth. It is threatening all life and steadily replacing the very laws of science. With all of this in mind, Damian splits them into two teams, with Mary Marvel, Zatanna, and Power Girl. They are teaming up and they are headed to the Tower of Fate. Nazar had drained the powerful artifacts. He discarded them here at the tower. Their mission is to bring it back so that Black Alice can reverse that drain. Cyborg and Blue Beetle, they are going along with them. Their alien technology not necessarily affected in the same way that everybody else is with these Lazarus storms. So if magic does fail, they can try to use brute force. Batman, Talia al Ghul, Blue Devil, and Supergirl, they are all going looking for the Devil Nazar. He was last seen pretty severely wounded. Damian believes that maybe he can be turned ally to find him before King Fireball does. And then we have the Monkey Prince. Showing up very late to this ordeal, Robin lets it be known that he can stay back, that Monkey Prince will stay here with Robin. Now, Damian does let it be known that the only thing Monkey Prince can really do is ride clouds and separate his limbs. Not knowing how to make use of this, he does say that he wants him to stay because he needs some cannon fodder, which is honestly pretty messed up for Damian to say. But this sentence alone is going to make me believe that the Monkey Prince is going to have a very prominent role moving forward. For those of you wondering who the heck is the Monkey Prince, he actually has his own ongoing series. We did cover issue number 1 of Monkey Prince. He is the more or less son of the Monkey King, of Sun Wukong. With one last thing, Damian letting Supergirl know that even though she had helped Superman and Batman jail him before, Nazar knows that it takes extraordinary effort to possess a Kryptonian. They suspect him to be weak, but to also remain extra cautious. And so at the Tower of Fate, we have Power Girl, we have Mary Marvel, and we have Zatanna that are all trying to break into the tower. Even with Dr. Fate missing, his wards and seals are holding up just fine. And so Cyborg and Blue Beetle, they go in and they try to use brute force. As they punch against the wall, this is where there is a giant explosion. Except this came from the inside of the Tower of Fate. This is where we have the arrival of the Silver Horn King. This is one of Fireball's lackeys. He was sent here to guard the tower. Zatanna letting us know that this is very bad. The Silverhorn King sending his minion animals. They begin to attack our heroes. And so while they make their stand, we are taken to the Himalayas. Batman knows that the Devil Nazar is searching for any last little bit of pure Lazarus resin, trying to repower himself. They are going to go to one of Ra's al Ghul's old lairs. But making their treacherous trek through these mountains, that is where they run into the Golden Horn King. yet another servant of King Fireball. He has been sent to retrieve the coward known as the Devil Nazar, with Blue Devil and Supergirl being the ones to stay behind. They fight him off while the others go to find Nazar. What we also learn is that this storm has turned Supergirl's powers upside down. Sunlight is now draining her abilities. Add on top of the fact that Kryptonians aren't great against magic, and she finds herself severely outmaneuvered in this battle. But that does not stop her from picking up boulders and smashing them upon Golden Horn King. Batman and Talia al Ghul making their way inside of Ra's al Ghul's hideouts. This is where they find the Devil Nazar, but he is already in the midst of battle, having the likes of Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy. They are currently having their own battle against the Devil, taking us over to Black Alice. We have the Monkey Prince who is making use of himself, recognizing that she is terrified, she's going through trauma, she has been through a whole ordeal, and so he sits down and he just has a conversation. He is here to let her know that he cares, that Robin cares, that we all want to see you become the person that you will, that you can overcome this trauma. With the Monkey Prince sitting down by her side, we are picking up at the Tower of Fate, with Power Girl grabbing hold of the Silverhorn King. She grabs hold of him and she takes him up, getting him out of the way, letting Zatanna and the others take care of all his wolf pack. We see the Golden Horn King fighting against Blue Devil and fighting against Supergirl. With her being vulnerable to magic, we see Supergirl beg and submit, begging him to stop, submitting to his power. That is when Blue Devil lets her know that he understands that she is going through a lot. Her powers are being drained. She is vulnerable to magic. Even he is terrified. But never once has he ever seen a Kryptonian succumb to fear in this manner. That is when Supergirl, she gets a grip of herself, and she does a thunderous clap, causing an avalanche. It allows the two of them to be able to escape, showing us the battle with Swamp Thing, Poison Ivy, and the Devil Nazar. Poison Ivy had been here before, but once Swamp Thing and her determined that it was Lazarus resin falling from the sky, they came here to learn more about what was going on to the Green, only to find the Devil Nazar. Even in a weakened state, he is still putting up one heck of a fight. And so all of our heroes together, they give it everything they have, hitting him with all the blasts that they can. They are able to subdue the devil. At the Tower of Fate, we have the storm completely out of control. Electricity landing in all directions. It is only a matter of time before one of them get hit. This is where Mary Marvel, she yells, Shazam! Using that magic, she is able to crack open the Tower of Fate. And what we find inside is every individual that the Devil Nazar had stolen powers from and thrown to the side. The Helm of Fate had transported the magic users off of Lazarus Island. It brought all of them home. And now, just maybe, they might have a fighting chance. With the Devil Nazar currently unconscious but his heart is still beating, if they were looking to draw any kind of magic out of the Devil Nazar and put it into Batman, they're not sure that that is actually an option. But what we see is the transformation of Batman. It appears that the Devil Nazar has taken him over, and he finds himself better than ever. Meanwhile, back at HQ, we have Damian that is coordinating all of the efforts. This is where King Fireball, he comes plowing in through one of the walls. The war raging across the planet in the DC universe. It looks like we will not see the final confrontation of King Fireball and Damian until Lazarus Planet Omega. And that's what gives us a little side story. We are learning about the history that is Nazar and the Monkey King. How the Monkey Prince can connect to all of this. That is when Pigsy goes on to tell us the story. We are picking up in the heavenly realm many centuries ago. The Monkey King, son Wukong, he comes to Nazar. He comes to him for help. The two of them have tried to kill each other over the years, over the lifetimes. But now they are both different people. Ever since Heaven gave Nazar the very beautiful stash that he wears, he has become a different person. Now the Monkey King is about to take on a demon and he needs the help of Nazar. The two of them making their way to Pigsy and the others. They find themselves in the home of Bull Demon. They have come to rescue Wukong's master. Getting ready to devour the master, King Bull Demon believes that this will grant him immortality. That is where the Monkey King, he goes in. We see Bull Demon, he begins to transform. He has mastered the 72 transformations. That is why the Monkey King brought in the backup that is Nazar, pulling a magical fan out of his mouth. We see Bull Demon go in on the heroes. It doesn't take long for the two of them to be able to pin him down, and Nazar deals a deadly blow. This isn't enough to kill the king, but it is enough to subdue him and put him down. Nazar is trying to let Bull Demon know that he understands the rage when he had been murdered by his own father, when he carved a path of blood across the earthly realm. He believed himself immortal, believed himself to be a god. He doesn't know who he would have become if the heavenly realm had not interfered. Now believing that he serves a higher purpose, that if he can have redemption, so can Bull Demon. Now Bull Demon tells him to shove his self-righteousness, that the only reason he has found redemption is because of the sash. That is where we see him take that sash from Nazar. Taking the sash, we see the transformation. But they are able to get it back, and we have Wukong that gives it back to Nazar. Nazar taking it willingly. This makes him question, did he choose to put on the sash? Or is he obligated to do so? With Wukong taking off, Nazar left behind. This is where he finds the princess and the young boy. This is Princess Ironfan. And this is the child that is Red Boy, now left fatherless, a wife left husbandless. We have Nazar that breaks his staff in half, giving it to Red Boy, saying to use this anytime that he needs help, and Nazar will come. And that day did come. Many centuries later, Darkseid killed King Bull Demon and Princess Ironfan, leaving Red Boy an orphan. And so Nazar adopted him and became his second father. Eventually, Red Boy transforms himself into King Firebull. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, we are picking up with King Firebull having the sorceress known as Black Alice within his grasp. He has learned that she is the one that took the power from everybody, that created this storm to begin with. At first, he just wanted to kill his father, the Devil Nazar, but now King Firebull, he wants all the power for himself. He is going to use Black Alice to do that. In the Hall of Justice, we have Robin and the Monkey Prince who fight against King Firebull, while these two face off against him. Elsewhere at the Tower of Fate, we have Zatanna, we have Mary Marvel, Cyborg, and Blue Beetle, along with Earth's powerless sorcerers. From the Spectre to Alan Scott, from Ragman to the Enchantress, all of them are powerless right now, with all of them turning to Zatanna, asking, what are we going to do? Zatanna says that they put their faith in Black Alice. She had the power to draw the magic from each and every one of them. She is the only one that can put it back. But with everything going on, Zatanna cannot trust her powers to safely carry this many people to her. And so what she tries to do is summon Black Alice to them. In doing so, on the other side, the Devil Nazar, he is trapping her, stopping her from being able to teleport to the Tower of Fate. These two powers pulling at each side of her. This is beginning to pull her apart, with Robin trying to get in contact with Zatanna, trying to let her know that she has to stop. That is when the Monkey Prince comes in. He hits the Devil Nazar, he grabs Black Alice, and he gets her into a hiding spot, with the Devil Nazar looking around, thinking that he is about to tear them to pieces. That is when the heavy hitters arrive. The Justice League has shown up, having 2 Green Lanterns, having Superman and Son, having Martian Manhunter, having the Flash, Wonder Girl. These guys, they all go in on King Fireball, with them just laying the freaking smackdown on him. This is where we see some green electricity come out of his hand. We see that King Fireball is manipulating the storm. This is when Black Alice lets us know that he held on to her long enough to mimic part of her magic, which means gradually and slowly he is beginning to absorb the storm. That everything around King Fireball is about to get a lot more unpredictable. Having a conversation with the Monkey Prince, we see Black Alice teleport out of here, arriving at the Tower of Fate. Black Alice is letting it be known that King Fireball is at the Hall of Justice, that he is busy laying down some of the world's heaviest hitters, and he is just getting started, with Zatanna telling Black Alice that she can't fix all of them all at once, that she says that she forbids this. Black Alice doesn't care, telling the Spectre that he is up first, to get ready, because everybody is about to get their powers back. As the Monkey Prince and Robin have a conversation, trying to figure out where Black Alice had gone off to. This is where we see Robin. He has heat vision coming out of his eyes. Our Supermen, they find themselves powerless. The Green Lantern ring's power levels are dropping. Superman finds himself having the telepathy of Martian Manhunter. And the Flash, he finds himself having super strength. Robin piecing it together that everyone's powers are being scrambled, which means right now, Robin has the power of a Kryptonian. Back at the Tower of Fate, they are trying to let Black Alice know that she has to stop, because right now this is going to kill her. She is taking in all of Earth's magic at the same time. It is too much for her, but Black Alice doesn't care, freeing the Spectre, letting him loose, free to wreak vengeance upon the evil. She is working one at a time to free everybody. Robin trying to get in communication with Batman, trying to find out what is going on with Batman, Supergirl, and Blue Devil. They are not coming in. That is because the Devil Nazar has taken over Batman. He has put down everybody to include Supergirl, with our Green Lanterns getting the super speedster abilities. They do what they can to hold off King Fireball. This is where we see Black Alice go nuclear. Black Alice has never truly had a place anywhere. She has always been used as a puppet for monsters. But for once, she is in control. But for once, she has the opportunity to stop all of this. She is sick and tired of it. She is done with all of it. Telling everybody to stop trying to protect her. That she is nobody special. Not on the scale of the people that she is saving right now. As the Spectre and everybody tried to hold her together. King Fireball taking out most of the Justice League. We see Alice just explode. She explodes with this magical power. The Devil Nazar, now taking over Batman's body, can feel that disturbance. As King Fireball rises up the Justice League, tries to use them as his soldiers. Robin lets him know that that trick has already been tried and it doesn't work. As he goes to strike down Robin, that is when he hears the voice of the Devil Nazar. The Devil Nazar making his way through all of this to find his son. Now, the Devil Nazar has come to understand that he hoped to absorb all of Earth's magic for himself. But that was a fool's goal, concocted far too hastily. The energy this formidable can never be controlled. Not by him, not by his son. But it can be directed, bringing all of this power down on top of King Fireball. The Lazarus Storm has changed. It now contains far more raw power. It contains the souls of its former masters. All of this coming down on King Fireball, feeling the full blast of Earth's magic. Honestly, at this point, Robin has no idea what is going on. But the truth is, it's also not his problem any longer, because this is where we have the arrival of Earth's mightiest magic wielders. The storm is gone, or more precisely, it has been reversed. Everyone is back to top form, friend and foe, hero and villain. They all fight together and they bring down King Fireball, with the Spectre laying down the last blow, encapsulating King Fireball into a small ball. They cannot eradicate him from the planet, but what they can do is find a proper resting place for him and all of his evil. Zatanna helping Robin up to his feet. Robin says that this was all really impressive, but what the heck just happened? Zatanna saying that she is not even sure herself. All they are certain of is that going forward, magic is never going to be the same again. Hundreds of beings around the world will attest to this. Some have been granted new abilities, some otherwise transformed, and some stories that have been yet to be told. But Black Alice, they believe that she is gone. Not sure where she went to, not sure what is going on with her. Wherever she is now, they can only hope that she found peace. With all of our magic wielders making their exit, going to take care of issues across the globe, that is when Damian runs into his father, running into his arms, giving him a hug, asking if he found Nazar, asking if he is healed, asking what happened to the others. What Damian does not realize right away is that his father is still possessed by the devil Nazar, that the fight between Batman and Robin is not quite over. Alright guys, so as we dive into this final issue, we are picking up with the devil Nazar and Robin. The last thing that Robin remembers is the battle between King Fireball and everybody else. And though the team was able to defeat Fireball and imprison him, in the aftermath, Batman shockingly looking as if he is at full health, assuring Damian that Nazar's magic had healed him. That is when everything went black. And now we pick up with the devil Nazar having Robin as his captive. As we saw, the devil Nazar had taken over Batman. Damian had sent Batman and a team to try and capture him. Obviously, that didn't go as planned. Robin is coming to the conclusion that this is more than a possession. He is inhibiting Batman. Not sure what to do with this knowledge just yet. He is plotting, but he does ask the devil Nazar on why he is still alive. Nazar still wants some vengeance on his son. He wants to humble him. And with Robin being one of the last individuals to see him, he is demanding that Robin let him know where his son is so he can go take care of this. Releasing Robin, giving him the opportunity to investigate where he might be. With Robin going over to the computer, putting on some headphones, he hits the DEFCON 1 intruder alert. He cranks it up to 150 decibels. This gives him the sliver of an opportunity to be able to escape. Running over to the motorcycle, jumping on it, and getting out of here. He thinks he may have gotten away, but the devil Nazar is hot on his tail inside the Batmobile. With Nazar now operating the Batmobile, he is chasing down Robin, shooting missiles, throwing everything that the Batmobile has. As Damian tries to make his escape, his mother rings in, letting him know that the devil Nazar has transferred himself fully into Batman. This means if the devil Nazar is to be taken out of Batman, then Batman will die. He will succumb to his wounds. This is where we have the Monkey Prince jumping into action. Jumping in onto the bike of Damian, causing them to go through the woods. The two of them begin discussing what is ongoing. Monkey Prince letting it be known that he saw everything that transpired. That he followed the devil Nazar all the way back here to the Batcave and into the situation that they are currently in. The Monkey Prince grabbing a couple hairs and making some clones. He sends these clones towards the Batmobile to throw off Nazar. It causes him to go all over the road and inevitably crash in a fiery explosion, with Damian and the Monkey Prince being able to hide away in the woodline. We see Batman, aka currently Nazar, coming out of those flames. The Monkey Prince letting us know that the longer Nazar stays in Batman's body, the stronger that he will become. The longer he stays there, the longer he will become permanently as that. And he continues to talk, letting Damian know that there is only one option. And Damian already knows what that option is. In order to save the world, they are going to have to kill Batman. He knows that there is no other choice. He takes this information and he makes his trap. He gives the Monkey Prince a mission and sends him away. He calls in the Bat family: Nightwing, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and the Batgirls. He reaches out to all of them, explains the situation, but leaves out the second part. The part where they have to kill Batman. They throw up the bat signal because Damian knows he has an exceptionally strong will. When Nazar had possessed him, a tiny part of his soul had stayed awake. Not enough to act, but enough to at least recognize the situation, to respond as he normally would. And though this is a gamble, he is hoping that the same goes for his father. Helpless to regain full control, but enough to acknowledge when the bat signal goes up. A portal opens up and we see Batman coming out, very livid that he had been summoned here by the Batwhelp. As soon as he steps through that portal, Damian gives everybody the orders. This is round 2. The Bat family versus the Devil Nazar. Of course, Nightwing is the first to go in. He is the first one to draw blood. But Nazar knows everything that Batman knows. He knows their unique fighting styles. He knows how to be able to take them down. And while he is severely outnumbered, he is wounded and not at full strength. We see that Batman is still laying down the hate. The Bat family getting the upper hand just for a moment. They are able to pin him down. Still waiting for the Monkey Prince to arrive, Batman is able to break free. We have the Bat family laid across the ground. That is when the Monkey Prince comes in, recognizing that he needs to give Pigsy just a little more time. He grabs a handful of his hairs and he creates a dozen Robin clones. As all of these Damian Waynes, they descend down on top of Batman. They are giving him the business. But slowly and surely, we see that these clones are disappearing, that they are fading away and they may run out of time, with Robin being the last one standing. No more clones, just him and Batman. He holds on to him, putting him in a rear naked choke, holding on for dear life. That is when we have the arrival of Enchantress, Zatanna, Pigsy, and the Sash. This Sash has always repressed the Lazarus madness that has afflicted Devil Nazar. It will keep him bound and sedated, at least for the time being, while they do what they are about to do. With everybody asking if Damian is sure that this is the path that he wants to go. Everybody knows the cost. If they remove the Devil Nazar from Batman's body, he will die. With Damian telling them to do it, we see the power leaving Batman and going into the Devil Nazar's body. And while people go to apologize and give their condolences to Damian now that Batman's body lay before them lifeless, this is where Damian says to take his life, to transfer Damian's life energy into Batman. This was his plan all along, telling them to hurry before it is too late, that he will be the sacrifice. This is where Zatanna and Enchantress let him know that it's not enough. The damage Nazar's magic had done to Batman's body left little more than a shell. Batman held together only because of its power. It would take more than one soul's energy to revive him. With the rest of the Bat family currently unconscious, there is nobody that is here to willingly give up their soul. They don't even know how many people it would take to give part of themselves in order to bring Batman back to life. But this is where Robin gets an idea. He gets in contact with Oracle and he goes out to all of Gotham City. He calls out to the citizens of Gotham. He comes to them with a dire plea. The Batman needs them urgently. He has devoted his life to guarding Gotham. To some of them, he is only a myth. But to the rest of them, they have seen him. They know that he is out there, always their guardian angel. He has saved the people of this city countless times. When they had no hope, when they were in danger, when they needed the impossible, Batman was there. Even Damian admits that he owes his very life to Batman. And so does this city. All of your friends, all of your family, including you. He has asked for nothing in return. But now, moments on the edge of death, he needs this city to save him. Tonight, that bat signal is calling to all of them. Within inside each person there is something, a life force, a soul, whatever you want to call it. But it is limitless. What he is asking is to share just a small piece of that. A piece so small that they would never even miss it. But mighty enough together that they could save their protector. Tonight, they are Batman. Tonight, they raise their fist into the air and they say those words. Open their hearts and souls and believe that they are all part of something vital, something extraordinary, something legendary. As the citizens of Gotham begin to chant that they are Batman, the lightning cracks across the sky, and the city of Gotham, they save the life of Batman. With Batman coming back to life, we see father and son reunited, embracing one another. The battle is finally over. When morning comes, news that any remaining inhabitants of Lazarus Island, they have been safely evacuated. Nothing but charred ruin is left behind. And for the first time in centuries, there is no known Lazarus resin on Earth. Devil Nazar and King Firebull no longer remain a threat, at least for now. If they somehow someday arise, they have already proven that they can defeat them. Not by the heroes, but by the world. And that there is no more formidable team than Batman and Robin. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think this was a definitely fun way to end this story. Instead of Damian sacrificing himself, instead of Batman just coming back to life and being okay, instead of them having some kind of secret plan or secret antidote, what Damian comes up with is taking a piece of everybody's soul and putting it into Batman. His plan was to plead with the city of Gotham. To the people and citizens Batman has been protecting all of these years. Because while the Bat family and some others may have saved the world, on this day, Gotham saved Batman. And that's one heck of a story arc. Thoroughly enjoyable, lots of fun, and I am very excited to see where this is going to be moving to. You know, there's been a wedge between Batman and Robin for quite some time, but now we are seeing that might possibly be remedied. It might be fixed up, they might have moved past their indifference. Move past the problems that both of them had. But more than anything, I am excited for the future of Damian Wayne. I am excited for what lies ahead, what trials and tribulations may be lying ahead for this young man. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with Batman vs. Robin and Lazarus Planet. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon having 5 different tiers. From $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.